it's Romania Black and Bromania!
Yo.
And we have so much to talk about before we even start this, but I'm so excited. We're on the final act of Arcane! The last 3 episodes. I'm so excited. I'm so ready. I'm wearing black in mourning, but not really mourning because I've got Whiteboard Coon here with a theory. My brother doesn't even know what's coming because I've not told him anything about this theory, but I've been slowly stewing on this episode this last week. I've been theorizing. I've been avoiding spoilers. I've been just letting it marinate, and some of these comments, and when I was editing, I started noticing things. I was like, oh, I think I'm putting the puzzle together. So we've got to dive into that. So we're just going to go straight to it. If you don't know Whiteboard Coon is my explainer of all things that I don't think has been here through any of the Arcane reactions. Nope. First time, right in the 3rd act, as it should be. So, okay. We're going to go through the comments, and I'm going to explain this business, and we're going to leave it up here, because after we're done, we might need it. Who knows? But, when I was editing, I guess we might as well talk about the theory. What am I saying? We're going to go ahead and talk about it, because the first thing I was doing while I was editing in my notes here is I was like, we talked about Skynet last time. My thing is, as I was editing through the episode, I was like, is Sky, because we kind of joked that Sky was basically just Viktor's subconscious and just him finding a way to justify what he was doing by talking to himself. No, I wonder now, is Sky a representation of the Hexcore? Was it influencing Viktor? And it's not just his subconscious. Looking at the stills, Sky is always following Viktor and is a part of him, but is still separate. So the start of the episode had her as this super giant version of herself, and then she's attached to Viktor and she's always there. She's guiding him. Is she the Hexcore? And is Jace trying to kill Sky, that part that's taking him over more than Viktor himself? So I've got this thing here, the Sky. When Viktor merged with the Hexcore, messed with it, Sky, because she got involved, her DNA and biometrics got basically input into all of this and became the representation in Viktor's mind. So Sky is the Hexcore, the hive mind. Sky is the representation of it, and Viktor is just going along with it and doesn't realize what's going on. But she's using Viktor's body to perfect the hive mind, using Viktor's resolve to move forward. It's less on the, because we were talking about it last episode, Viktor was less of a scientist in this form and more like this spiritual individual. It's like the science is still inside. Viktor's curiosity and everything is in there when he's trying to figure everything out with the Arcane, but on the outside, the hive mind's kind of taken over. So this leads us to the whole body of Sinja's daughter. Is that going to play into this? I put that off to the side because I don't know where that's going, but it seems like it could have something to do with it. Then we have Jace over here, which I'm hoping this act we get answers, but we have Jace, who has the wrist crystal, which we're going to talk about in a second with the comments, because somebody pointed something out that I didn't think about. But they basically, we think that they are off in the Arcane with Heimerdinger and Ekko, or were off there. Did they discover info on mages? We don't know. But it could be that Jace realized the hive mind could possibly come and be taking over humanity, thanks to the whole Hexcore thing, and was like, oh, that's not good. And that Viktor, him and Viktor are all for free will. They're all for scientific invention and curiosity. So he was like, oh, the hive mind taking over is taking over my friend. That's not what either of us would want. So Viktor, also going back to episode 3 or 4, when Viktor left Jace and said that, he was influenced, like he only stayed behind because of affection. It's like, was Jace, the Viktor that left Jace was influenced by the hive Hexcore and leaving the affection behind. I'm just throwing stuff out here. It seems like it could connect, but is Jace trying to stop Sky and let Viktor rest in peace, as he says he is, because he thinks his friend is dead? And did Viktor want Jace to come and meet him because the hive mind wanted to collect Jace as well, because they're scientists, and they're like, well, if I have you scientist brain and I have my scientist brain, then we're unstoppable. Something like that. That's all up here. So we're just gonna let that sit. I've been stewing on it, but I was like, I think there's something there. I don't know if we're gonna get anything else out of it, but anyway, the title, as my brother cracks open a soda, the title of the last episode was called The Message Hidden Within the Pattern. So it's a reflective thing about how humanity will always react, showcase love, the two-sided coin. It goes back to like things in Attack on Titan. As long as there's two humans, there's always going to be conflict. And also humanity is all about choice. the good and the bad, the consequences, the results. It's all about choice based on our desires or our loves. My ship's not sunk yet. It's still going. It's still floating. There's a chance, just like Viktor is going to get resurrected. Just you wait. We got 3 episodes, 3 days. We can do this. It is possible. My brother is squinting. But anyway, that's what I have kind of discovered in my theories. Now, Daya in 1997 says, we're going to kind of deviate between the comments here, but Daya in 1997 said, my opinion, Icha already believes in the revolution. She knows the suffering and oppression of Zon. She's seen the brutality. Her little mining outfit. I thought this was cool. Her mining outfit reminds me of Silco in season 1, saying that the mines had it worse because of the first revolution that culminated in the bridge scene. So, and the connection to Isha's outfit. Seeing Jinx as the heir to Silco and how she saves her from the goons, now she has someone to believe in. Much like a young kid, she believes Jinx can save Zon like she saved her. And we saw the results of that last episode when supposedly we believe her and Vander, aka Warwick, are kaput. So, also, everyone is giving you props for not spoiling me on Warwick. So, good. They were like, man, what a Giga Chad for not spoiling you on Warwick. I'm like, yeah, I know, right? Diginova Star 6325 says, I love Warwick. I play him a lot, though I kind of don't like his design in Arcane, even though I understand why. My brother's like, I highly recommend going through the bios once you finish Arcane. Maybe we can do that. Maybe when we're done with Arcane, we can look at the bios and check those out before we're done recording and see those.
Yeah, Warwick's design in the game is more wolf than man.
Ooh, okay. Well, maybe we can check that out when we're done with episode 9. We can look those up before we're done and check out all the bios and see those. Those would be cool. But yeah, Sunray535 says, shout out to Romania Black's brother. Clever, man. Some of the stuff he says is cool. Yay.
Thank you.
The Pink Brothel owner Yordle's voice actress sadly died. I know, isn't that sad? I heard they animated the Yordle touching Jinx as a tribute to her. That's really sad. I was like, that's so heartfelt. This season, I thought this part was cool, Sunray's comment. This season seems to also be the season of repeating phrases with slightly different meanings and nuances. Mel speaking about 2 against 1 to what Salo said, Viktor echoing Singe's words about paths diverging, Savika talking about doing enough favors as a retort back to Jinx, and now the double-edged blade Caitlyn fired back at Mbessa. When Jinx was talking about Icha, she let her monkey bomb tick a little longer before shutting it off. It reminded me of the scene in season 1 when Mel was proposing to weaponize Hextech to Jayce and Viktor got upset. He too let the bomb tick a few seconds before cutting it off to demonstrate to Jace that there is always a choice. Which I think is pretty cool, except in the hive mind, nobody was going to have a choice. So knowing more of that, I'm like, that didn't sound like Viktor at all. Now that you're mentioning it, we were distracted. I was distracted by the hotness of Jesus Viktor to realize that it wasn't like Viktor's normally. My brother is looking at me like, please stop. Anyway, Ann says, yes, I love the way she describes this. Soy boy Jace to Dilf Jace. The glow up is incredible. I love deranged Jace so much. My brother's laughing. Like, I'm assuming it's an inside joke.
No, just calling him from soy boy to deranged is perfect.
Okay, perfect, great. Also, I didn't realize this either, but Viktor's blue cloak that he wore was the cloak that Jace gave him when he woke up. He just modified it to make it a little toga robe. There you go. My ship's not dead yet! Anyway.
Well, we can't trust him now that you pointed out that he's wearing a toga. You can never trust a man wearing a toga.
Let me have this. Christopher Peterson says, we can blame many different people for all kinds of things that go awry in the show, but if we want to go to the primary cause, the one we can blame for everything wrong in Piltover and Zon is, and they said they're sorry, but it's Heimerdinger. In season 1, they called him the founder of Piltover, and he was the head of the council. Either way, he obviously has been in a position of power since the city was founded, so everything with the gray, which he didn't fix, the Kiermans did that apparently, and all the pollution problems and the mistreatment of people in Zon has all been under his watch. I don't want to put all the blame on Heimerdinger, but I do agree that he should have probably spoke up sooner and did some things different. But the curse of the time traveler, the curse of the immortal, they always think that things are going to get fixed, and then it's like, well, we didn't do that. Pancake says being kicked out of the council and joining Ekko and helping Zaun's people is the best thing that's happened to Heimerdinger's character. I agree. I like Heimerdinger and Ekko quite a bit together. I hope we get to see them this last act. I'm sure we will, because we have to get some closure with them in at least these 3 episodes. Christopher Peterson also said people speculated that Mel had powers after season 1 when we saw the golden light shine from her right before Jinx's missile hit it. I thought it was some visual flare, which is what I thought. But then we saw the glow again and her and Jace being perfectly fine in the first episode of the season. So I suspected I was wrong. Here we got all but confirmation that she didn't survive that explosion only out of sheer luck. Yeah, because that was my one beef with episode 1. I'm like, how'd she live through that? Is that when you suspected she was a witch? And you just weren't telling me? Because, yeah, her and Jace were totally fine, and then everybody else is, like, dead.
I was waiting for concrete evidence.
I know, yeah, we didn't want to...
Because she was, like, getting hit point blank.
Yeah. So that makes sense now that she activated her powers without her realizing it to save the 2 of them. That all makes sense. So, but here's the thing. I'm not sure if you made the connection, but the crystal in Jace's arm is the one that he got when he was little, and his mom was saved by the mage or sorcerer or whatever it's called. So, Jace is maybe now a wizard through his hammer? The stone is the one that he got from the mage, but we don't know how it ended up fused in his arm yet. But it is the same one. I was like, oh, dang. So then they said, I forgot to mention this in my initial post, but is this episode kind of a retcon? In the first season, it seemed that Vander and Silco split years before the failed march across the bridge. Here, it seemed to imply that Vander attacked Silco after the point instead. It seems to me that Silco's interactions with Vi and Powder should be slightly different if he were around when they grew up, unless I've misunderstood something in the timeline. So I don't know, because they also said that Vander and Silco looked younger in the fight flashback, and the letter that Jinx found said, when she died, I lost my head. So it would be weird if they didn't refer to Felicia and the fight. Although the water quality in Piltover and Zaun being what it is, maybe it instantly aged them 10 to 15 years after taking a dip in it. Which is possible.
They could have had the fight after the bridge fell. He took the 2 kids home, put them to bed, met with Silco, and was angry because Silco started the whole fight, even though Vander was the one leading them.
Yeah.
People would have rallied to Vander more than Silco. Silco was the guy with the books at that time. Vander was the strong, being able to knock people around. He would have inspired them to fight more.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is it does make it weird of how Silco... I mean, I guess it makes more sense why Silco took Jinx in, and maybe why he made the connection between Jinx and Vi so instantly, because he saw it between himself and Vander, and was kind of fueled by that. It's a little messed up knowing that they're both Felicia's kids, and he knew it at the time, but by that point, Silco was so deep entrenched in everything, he kind of just let it consume him and didn't...
And he may not have seen them because he was trying to find ways to get at Piltover. He was too engrossed in that he forgot entirely about her family.
I mean, it could be. He just kind of sank, and then he was just projecting his own problems onto everybody else. So, I mean, it's interesting. And then the final comment I got is that Zoish Star says, on the time skip, the creators have stated it's been 6 to 8 months since the end of episode 3. Okay, so they built this city in 6 to 8 months after Mel disappeared and all of that. Also, fun fact about the music, the very Doom-like song for when Vandwick attacks the Stillwater prison, it's called The Beast, and the melody of it, which you can hear in the episode, but it's clear in the soundtrack, is distorted and a dissonant version of Dear Friends Across the River, the tune that Powder sung on the bridge in the prologue, and Jinx eerily hummed after the firelight bombs went off on the bridge in episode 7 of season 1. Cool. So yeah, I don't know where this is going to take us, but we're in the final act. There's only 3 episodes left. I got lots of ideas, but then again, this series might just prove me entirely wrong. So we'll just have to see. So we're not going to waste any more time. We're going to dive right in. I hope you all enjoy, but we're going to look at Arcane episode 7, and we're going to do that here in 3, 2, 1, and let's go. Oh my gosh. So I want to go back and look at a few little tiny details throughout this episode. What? So Ekko's version of himself ended up in the body of an alternate version of him. And he had to separate that to go back. And I'm glad that that version is okay. I thought that them introducing all the Hextech and stuff was going to ruin their timeline. And we got to see, like, Jinx and Ekko as...
No, they were only going to use it for, like, the one thing.
Right. So, is Heimerdinger dead, or did he zap back?
Okay, little lore about Yordles.
Okay.
Unless it's, like, old age, should their bodies be destroyed, they'll actually just return to Bandle City and respawn.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh! So they're just, he's just like a gremlin, he's just gonna respawn somewhere else.
Back at Bandle City.
Okay, where's Bandle City at?
It's the home of the Yordles. It's hidden from humans.
Oh, okay, so Heimerdinger's essentially gone. Maybe.
Then again, that's magical energy causing a disruption in space-time.
He could end up with Ekko and them back wherever.
He could end up back with them in that world. He could be in the Bandle City of their world. He could be in Bandle City of that world.
We don't know where Heimerdinger is, essentially.
Yeah, but he didn't really care. I mean, he's lived for 300 plus years.
Yeah, well, he said he waited 1,000 years there.
100 years.
100. I thought he said 1,000.
I think he said like 120.
We'll go back to it. But so essentially, Heimerdinger is either respawned or he's going to be back with Ekko and Jace.
Or that version of him.
That version of him is gone, and we don't know where the other version of Heimerdinger is.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. Which that kind of makes sense, because if Heimerdinger had left with Jace, it could have disrupted the time continuum and all that, because then that world wouldn't have had a Heimerdinger, so it's probably best that ended up happening. Oh my god. Also, the fact that Heimerdinger was gone for like 2 seconds and then made that thing huge and was just like, oh, I upgraded it instantly. I'm like, you're a terror to society.
That's his ult.
Oh.
In the game, his kit involves him having a turret spawn,
okay,
which is what he used for the bubbles.
Yes.
A missile launcher that comes out of his afro.
Okay.
And an EMP grenade. His ultimate allows you to upgrade one of those to either a giant turret, a barrage of missiles, or a bouncing EMP.
So the upgrade factor just made it happen really quick.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's just funny. That's just funny. That's actually really humorous. There were some things at the start of this episode I wanted to look at, like a couple things that were kind of weird.
That's the clock he was working on when we first met him.
Yes, there was a clock, but there was also like a whole thing of masks.
Well, and it's a pawn shop.
Right. I was just saying, like, the OP has Viktor holding a mask. So it seemed like it was like an Easter egg or something, right? Mm-hmm. And so his doodles are of Jinx. Did you not think it was cute that this version had Jinx and Ekko together?
They have some interesting voice lines in the game.
Oh, so it is kind of like a shippy element to them in the game?
One of Ekko's is, I used to have such a crush on you until you started talking to the gun.
Oh, okay. So they're just playing off of that in this. This was I normally, the utopian timelines kind of freak me out, although that skeleton of that animal in the background is really creepy. Usually utopian timelines freak me out because it's like the alternate universe where everything's all happy-go. Usually there's like a caveat and something's weird.
Vi died in
this one.
In the heist.
So yeah, so in this one, everything Silco and Vander made up because they got to read the note. The two, Clagger and the other one got to live because they weren't killed in the explosion. Vi's the one that died in the explosion, but Jinx is doing just fine without her, so that sucks. Poor Vi.
Well, we have to look at it. With Vi dying in the explosion, mm-hmm. Jace was most likely kicked out of Piltover because he used magic which killed somebody.
Right.
With Vi dead and them already having a culprit to blame and everything on, they didn't need to raid the Undercity. Yeah. Silco, he couldn't advance his plans due to the fact that there was nothing they could use to advance the plans.
Right, so it all just kind of like, it's so weird how this timeline, and granted, all the timelines, like little tiny things could change the entire scheme of this. So this is just the one timeline where things were utopian except for Vi not being there. Everything. I mean, like, there could be another timeline where it's similar, but then there's still the Undercity. Or this timeline, like, this just, Ekko fell into the perfect timeline, essentially, aside from Vi not being there. Basically. That means that in this timeline, Caitlyn is probably married to that Scottish trollop.
Yeah, and Viktor and Jace never met, so...
Well, then it's not a perfect timeline. I'm joking. Okay, we're gonna get to that, but I thought Ekko's timeline was really good. I thought that was that mask. I'm telling you, there's a line there. There's a little stuff in the OP that I'm waiting for, and Vander's still there. Like, it was cool to see. I forgot about Besso. I forgot about him. Benzo. I forgot about Benzo from season 1.
Yeah, without them having to confront the cop lady, he wouldn't have been able to turn Deckard into this monster and have him released on.
Yep. Ekko's voice actor did a really good job in this episode. I thought he was really good. It's weird seeing, one, it was weird seeing Ekko without the hourglass on his face, because I love that mark that he has. 2, it was weird to see Powder / Jinx with short hair. I was like, nope, I like long hair Rapunzel Jinx, even though Powder is happier in this timeline. But yeah, what a crazy world. So, I wanted to look at some of the visuals in hellscape Jace land, because we need to talk about that place. But yeah, they try to what was this little device he has to preserve the flower that Clagger has? It's like a little thing to preserve the flower in it. Did that not remind you of the little tube that Singe has to preserve his daughter in? Kind of. Also, there's little things in the background, there's Vander and them, there's little things there. We don't see Savika in this world at all, which is interesting. But yeah, it's weird seeing these characters all grown up and living #normal lives, and Jinx in, this different outfit and all that. I do like the idea that in this world, Jinx isn't called out for being a Jinx or messing stuff up. Vander's you're too smart to be here. You need to go out and be an inventor and go somewhere else. Which kind of makes it seem like Jinx isn't a Jinx. It's all just psychoschematic in her head.
Most of his lessons were going to Vi.
Yeah. So now it's going to Jinx instead. So it just changes her whole... Yeah, so without Vi to learn lessons from Vander, Vander teaches it all to Jinx. That's so crazy.
So, basically, the root of all problems is Vi.
Damn! What? I feel bad for Vi! What the heck? So, Heimerdinger figures it out. He sees the anomaly. Sees the runes there. The spiral of... They all look like fingerprints. Making a spiral. That's so crazy. I like... What's the thing that they're making there? The little... Looks like a little...
It's the storage unit.
It's the storage unit. Oh, that's so cool. Every little tiny detail in this series is wild. Yeah, he says 1,128 days. Oh, days! Days. How long is... Hold on. If we have... I need to get a calculator because I can't do that math. Okay, 1,128 divided by 365. So 3 years. He's been waiting 3 years for him. Okay. Well, that's crazy.
Which would have been a little might have been a little bit after the whole Hextech explosion thing.
Yeah. Also, so what's the thing with Heimerdinger and the guitar?
I guess in this world, with more peace and all the freedom that he had,
he started a folk rock band? I didn't know if that was something in League of Legends. Or if that's just Arcane itself.
He has some skins where he has a banjo.
Oh, so he has a banjo in one of the skins. Okay, and they were just like, we can make a song out of this. His voice actor has a great voice. It was like a cutesy folk song. I liked it.
I think he has a banjo.
Meanwhile, Jace lands. So we're assuming that this is the bad ending. This is if Hextech...
This is where Hextech just ran wild, because we've seen with just the normal usage they had, it just took a couple of years for the Wild Room to start affecting everything. Now,
with this world, did it look like at the top of the sphere that Jace was the cause of all of it? Because it was his hammer at the eye of the storm? It looked like he slammed his hammer down and caused everything to blow up. Is that not what it looked like to you?
That's what it looked like.
Because we're assuming that the being that was at the top that he faced the mage with was himself, wasn't it, holding the hammer? And he'd blown up? Okay, the Hextech, like all the corpses where their heads have been blown out and there's just like, it's like the fungus like growing out from it.
Wild Rune took over the bodies.
That's insane that the runes took over the bodies.
And that's why he sees all the hive mind people as those.
Oh my god. Like that was... Okay, do you think that the mage is Viktor? Can you not tell me?
I don't know.
I was like, is it Viktor that's been leading him in this whole time from the very beginning, and it just all comes full circle and at the very end? Because I was like, there was some stuff on it. The hand, the skin, it's either, or is Jace the mage? And has Jace been leading himself without saying it because he didn't want to do that? I'm like, is this going to be a full circle moment that Jace saved himself as a kid or Viktor saved Jace as a kid? That is terrifying. The shot of the corpses running away, and it's like Pompeii, where they've all like the Hextech has made them explode, and they're all hollow inside. That is so insane. Nope. Nope. Okay, so I can't believe she had all of the. Okay, now, well, he didn't leave. The gear was kept in his pocket because that Ekko stayed behind. I thought for a second he was going to take that gear with him. It was going to be a thing. So she had the Hextech crystals the whole time.
Apparently.
So the tech's right there, so she could end up doing something with it in that timeline. Theoretically.
Well, she still has her Ekko.
Right, so they could end up doing something with it, though.
Yeah.
They could end up doing something with the Hextech now that they've got all of it.
Oh, then yeah, they really have screwed over that universe.
Yeah! So they've got the Hex crystals are right there. She knows what they look like. And so the technology's right there, so they could just make Hextech there in that world.
Yeah, but the difference between Ekko and Jace is Ekko was the one that brought up, why didn't you, like, do all these extensive tests?
So, theoretically, in this utopian world, and also Silco's still there, Vander's there and everything, so they could actually make Hextech maybe work for them and do it the proper way.
And do it a lot safer, where they could limit the Wild Rune's interaction or even find ways of isolating and getting rid of it.
Theoretically.
Yeah.
We're gonna hope that they have a happy ending regardless of this tech that's just been dumped onto them, but...
By the time they figure it out, Jinx and Ekko will have kids.
Oh my gosh.
Or Powder and Ekko.
Here's the thing. I didn't really ship them that much in season 1. I know a lot of people were... I'm wondering if people were shipping them because of the game, but in season 1, I wasn't really shipping Ekko and Jinx. I mean, I got why you would, but I wasn't really. But here... This version of Jinx and Ekko, I was totally shipping them. The chemistry was there. And I feel bad because now this Ekko's like, well, the Jinx in my world's not exactly like the Jinx in that world. They're a bit different. But maybe, who knows? Maybe Jinx in this world and Ekko will get together by the end of this series if they save the world from the hive mind and Hextech. Who knows? I love the colors. The green and the reds. It felt very Wizard of Oz. Meanwhile... in the ruins of the Titanic.
Yeah, those are boats. Those are the Noxian boats.
Oh, shoot. They're the Noxian boats. Oh my god. Okay. And they go through there, and then...
Jace is home. Probably, as I predicted, he was kicked out because of the explosion. So
they just boarded it back up. Okay, and then the crossing the bridge, and like... This is bad. This hell world where the Hextechs the runes have ruined everything. This is really bad.
He's going to where the impacts were.
Yes. Okay, so the tree was fine in that world, but oh my gosh. Where the impact was. My thing is, how is the hive mind still alive in that world?
It might not... Well, the hive mind's created from the Wild Rune.
Okay, but then
the Wild Rune's still there.
So, when Jace fired the hole through Viktor, did that get rid of the Wild
Rune? No, that would have just hurt Viktor, who was the center of the
hive mind. Oh, there's Savika. They were right back there. Right back there in the back.
Oh, there you go.
You could see her in the back. Okay. And there's the back kid. Yeah, Savika's back there in the back of it. Interesting. Or at least it looks like Savika. Oh my gosh.
Is that the Bat Kid?
Oh, that was the Bat... Oh, the corpse of the Bat Kid there. No! That's so cruel. Oh my gosh. Yeah, and then going through the... Oh yeah, there it is behind him. Oh.
Yeah, it's just standing there. Oh, that one's...
Oh, it's just right there. It just is right there. That is terrifying. No. No.
Well, on the plus side, it doesn't look like it has any teeth.
Okay, but my thing is, those things are alive and moving around. But when Jace fired the shot through Viktor, they all collapsed and died. So, does that mean Viktor in that world was still roaming around?
I think it means that these ones also don't have brains. They're hollow. They're like puppets.
Yeah, but that means there was a puppet master somewhere in that world. We just didn't see who it was.
Not necessarily. The wild rune is growing on them. You can see the red.
Oh, okay.
So it's more like, oh, we sense the crystal on you.
Oh, so the red on them, the dots of red and everything is the wild rune. So as long as the wild rune is still there, they're still up and moving around.
Somewhat.
But in our timeline, it wasn't the wild rune controlling them, it was Viktor.
Yeah.
So it's a different source. So him killing Viktor killed the source.
It's basically a potato computer compared to a supercomputer.
Okay.
It's able to function.
Yes.
But it can't do all the things that...
Oh my gosh.
Because, see, they're able to move around, but other than moving around and walking towards a living life source...
They don't have much things to do.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my gosh.
I mean, at any point, it could have just attacked Jace.
Yeah.
But it just stood there, near it.
That's the thing. They didn't follow him. They just kind of watched him. So, yeah, unlike where the ones were being controlled and linked up with Viktor, who could use them and make them do things, these were just kind of just there. That sucks that hammer busted his leg. That sucks. So bad.
But now we know why he needed the brace.
The brace, yeah. So then we had Jason. That whole montage with Jace was crazy. Like, I get it now. I get why he saw this hellscape and was like, I have to stop it from happening. And went back to his timeline and was like, I have to stop this from going.
And why he skipped the boss cut scene.
Yes. My thing was, like, he had to have looked at Viktor and been like, what the fudge? And also he, like, made that fire on a rib cage, which is terrifying. So, okay. So that thing... his leg was like totally infected with the rune, wasn't it?
Yeah, he would have had to...
Whatever that junk is?
Yeah, really had to have cut up his leg to get rid of all that.
Yeah, and he was eating the animals who were also affected by the rune, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, they're watching him. That's so creepy!
See? I told you.
That's so creepy! Yeah, and he looks up and sees them. Okay. Yeah. Oh. And then he keeps carving it out. And Jace just had a very bad time. His time in that hell world was very bad, and I kind of feel bad for him.
Ekko over here getting his groove on.
Ekko's getting his groove on, about to make out with Powder, having the best time. Banjo musics are playing. Jace is crying, losing everyone, and I just... wondering what he's gonna do. Crying in... Okay, yeah. So there's one of those animals that he ate.
It's a salamander.
Oh, a salamander. That's so gross.
Like the one Singed had in his lab.
Oh, look at that. That leg is like infested and like completely swollen. What is that? Like, when they say it corrupts, what's he gonna do about that leg?
I don't know.
Like, is he gonna have to chop that leg off?
Probably.
Oh. Oh my gosh. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna say this. Look, I know you're not gonna want to hear this, but I've gotta say it. When Jace looks into the fire, he sees Mel. You know that flame turns into? Turns into Viktor, bitch. My ship ain't dead! My ship ain't dead! No. And then, okay, the era, and then because Mel says for the era of magic. Okay.
And Heimerdinger tells him how to destroy nations.
Yep, and then...
But he didn't listen.
He didn't listen, yeah. Wow, and so he did the rune and everything.
He did all the calculations.
And the calculations of how to get back. Oh my god. Yep. Oh, I feel for Jace. I really do. What did that say?
They showed him a vision.
Oh, and that's him at the top of the version of him at the top. Its eyes were moving. That's so creepy. Yeah. And the fact that he keeps seeing the mage, I'm like, I want to know who the mage is. Okay, so he left the one hammer behind and then took the new hammer with him. So that makes sense why it looks so different and why it had warped. That all makes sense. Oh my gosh. I do feel bad for Jace. He's messed everything up. Possibly, but maybe not. Maybe he saved everyone. Who knows? But, I do love the mural that he makes of Vi. That looks really cool.
Then he tells her about the multiverse without actually telling her about the multiverse.
Yes, the dream, yeah.
Into the Ekkoverse.
Into the Ekkoverse, yes! I really love Ekko's character. He's so good. And he's such a great character. And he's just trying to help out. And I love it for him. I'm not usually a multiverse person. I'm like, I don't know, but they handled it really well here. The idea that we got a parallel universe.
Well, it's not two people of the same. It's not two of the same person in one universe. It's somebody's consciousness seeing through their eyes. Yes.
I love the episodes called "Pretend Like It's the First Time." That was damn. So Jace takes that walking stick, walks up all that like. At one point, he is... Oh my god, look at these things. This is like the freaking Council of Elrond. Like, look at these. Look at all of them.
And they're watching him.
Yes, what in the world? Oh. They're all so messed up. That is so creepy. Because they're just like hollow remnants of whatever.
Of people,
the Arcane.
That one, at the very end, it moved his shoulder like it was getting out of his way.
Oh, that's so wild. But yes, they make the time machine. When Heimerdinger died, and they're like, 4 seconds. That's our limit. How did you know? Well, he had the bit of Heimerdinger's fur on him.
Trust me.
Oh my god, that was insane. And then Heimerdinger upgrades it with his ability. Oh my gosh. I like the monkey had the sticker of the one guy on it. Milo. Okay. Oh wow, and then at the top is where it all blew up. Wow, and the clock. See, like him crawling up all that? Jace, our boy had to work to get to the top of that shit.
And that's where the Hexgate was for Piltover.
Oh, so it's possible, like, when his hammer came down, it made the arcane and everything explode.
Most likely the wild room was running, wild.
Mm-hmm.
And he thought the only way to stop it was to destroy the Hexgate. And that just caused a huge flood of energy to...
And it just basically exploded from within. So what's he gonna do now? Like, now that Viktor's been blown up...
He's probably gonna take every bit of Hexcore. Without the gems, the Hextech's nothing.
So you have to take the gems.
Yeah.
So
and
the
he
gem...
stopped Silo from taking 2 vats of it.
So where's all the gems left? They're the gems that Icha just blew up 3 of them.
Yeah.
In one. So that good for Icha helping the cause.
Good job.
Good job, Icha. You helped save the world inadvertently. Ah!
You're right up there with Ahmed the Dead Terrorist.
No. I feel so bad for Icha. That part is so sad. But silver lining, the 3 of the Hexcores.
We don't know how many they have in Piltover.
So the 3 cores, one was from the gun of Jinx and the 2 from Vi's gauntlets. So those 3 are gone, presumably. We assume they're gone.
And there's 1 in the prison.
There's 1 in the prison.
That the goat man died to.
Oh, okay. Now, but isn't the thing in Jace's wrist a Hextech, that crystal?
You'll have to destroy that too.
He'll have to destroy that. Like, what's he gonna do with his leg and his arm?
Boom.
Can he become a ghost with Viktor and they just float through the nether sphere together? Endlessly shippable? Can they do that? Can I have this?
No, because unfortunately there are creatures in that world that eat souls.
What? No! 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 Oh my gosh. But yeah, he gets to the top of the gate. This whole party and everything was so good. I like that he got to make amends with Benzo right before he left. I like that he got to do that. We got like French dance music. Good on Ekko for getting this moment with Jinx. Good for him. That was so sweet. I like that he didn't immediately want to kiss her because he's like, I'm not the Ekko that you think that you know.
He wasn't going to do himself dirty.
I know! Ekko's such a great person. Meanwhile, Jace is like, I kept thinking that Jace getting to the top of that tower he was going to activate something and it was going to ruin Ekko and Jinx's moment. I kept waiting for that to happen. But instead we get to the Eye of the Storm. So there's him at the gate there, which is where the hex gate was, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That is insane. Like him walking up and seeing himself as the skeleton.
There was no mind for him to go into.
Now, we haven't seen that pendant before, have we?
No, I think it's something Ekko gave her.
Okay. And it's like the time turner kind of, right? Which is on point for this being. It's like an illusion. Okay, but oh my gosh. Can you imagine sitting there and seeing yourself like blown up from within with all the stuff coming out? Like that is insane. And he's like, this is where it started. And Jace is like the end of Piltover and he's like, I caused it, so I could go back and keep it from happening. So the mage has been there the whole time leading him to this. That's why I can't decide. Like part of me thinks that is the mage himself and it's always been him, or is and he like went back to save him and his mom and like caused this whole time loop just themselves, or is the mage Viktor and Viktor's been helping him from beyond the grave doing the same thing? Because we don't get to see who it is. But they have the warped cane. But do all mages have canes? So I don't think they all do. But so it could be Viktor, it could be Jace. It doesn't have to go this way. Oh, tell me there's a chance. Oh, I don't know, because then it looks, I'm like, you're not going to give us anything, are you?
Nope, just going to remain, going to keep
okay,
my Ghost of Christmas looking, past looking ass.
I love that the time machine has the little monkey things in the middle. It's very Jinx. It's very Jinx without being Jinx. And so, like, apologize to Miss Powder. Okay, but yeah. And then the mage. Okay, so he's like, send me back. Okay, so there's the hand. Is the skin light enough to be Viktor's?
I don't know.
But it's not dark enough to be Jace's. No, so it's not Jace. I feel like it could be Viktor. Because, no, they're too dark. They're too light to be. And the way that they just tenderly touch the shoulder of Jace. You can't tell me that's not Viktor. Tenderly touching the little shoulder of exoskeleton. Okay, but when he touches the shoulder, the eye moves. The eye moves. So it's like it's controlling the arcane ruins.
Well, it's a mage. It's got magic. It's using magic to control the rooms.
Okay. But that's so insane. And it makes that I think it's Viktor. I think it's Viktor. I mean, who else would be able to do that other than every other mage?
Every other mage.
Shut up. Let me have this. And he's like, fine, I'll take this cool ass hammer and I will go and stop this all from happening with the Hextech. Okay. My thing is, he did not question when he took the hammer and suddenly the crystal came fused with his skin. I guess he's looked at his leg and realized it could be worse. Right?
It's like reminding him of what his job is.
True. Heimerdinger fully pulled, there's a character in Doctor Who that dies the same way Heimerdinger.
I know River Song.
I was trying not to spoil Doctor Who for folks, but it's been a long time. They should know by now.
You said River Song, didn't it?
I know, and then I regretted it. It's all right. But yeah. Okay, okay.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you guys built a hypersensitive time device using all these parts? That's neat. All I gotta do is...
So this mage essentially can do the same thing that they all did with the tech, just with their palm.
Yeah.
That's so freaking cool. What? Because then, yeah, they made a giant rune there, and then it basically, okay, so it's like...
It's fused into him.
Fused into him. Yeah. He's like, fine, I'll swear it, I'll change it to where this doesn't happen. Ah. Okay. So it sent him back to where Sallow was. That all makes sense now. The question is, where did Ekko go? We don't know yet.
Back to his world.
Right, we just don't know where and when he's going to show up, because Jace showed up right when Sallow was there. Did Ekko always have that coat?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's his Firefly outfit.
I thought so. All right, and then he goes back. Oh my gosh. And then she had the crystals all along. I love she had the boxing gloves there. So yeah, we're gonna... So Ekko's presumably going back. We don't know if Heimerdinger is, or if he's been reborn somewhere else, or if we're the other Heimerdinger. We don't know yet. But Jace is back there. And presumably now he's going to start going to gather all the Hextech up to get rid of it. Mel is a witch. We don't know where and what she's doing. Vander / Warwick and Icha are probably both dead. And we don't know about Vi and Jinx. We don't know about Caitlyn and the others. We don't know about Singe. Singe was kind of like in the aftermath of it all, standing in the flames wondering what to do. And his daughter. Viktor is presumably dead. And the hive mind is presumably dead. But we don't know what... I'm glad we got this episode to start Act 3 off. Because that explains where they went and what happened with Jace and all of them. That explains everything and why Jace is doing the things that he's doing. I'm just like, now we have 2 episodes to wrap everything up!
Well, now we gotta catch up on what's happened after Warwick explode, where Ekko is.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I need all of these to converge to Jace and Viktor ending up being together in the Nether Sphere, in time and space, in the Hexcore, wherever. I just need that. I'm not asking for much. Maybe Jace and Viktor just need to be ghost scientists together somewhere. I think that's plausible. Victor's not dead. He can't be. Nope, he's not. You can't tell me Victor's not going to be in the last 2 episodes, that he's just gone. That's it. Nope. Don't believe it. Even if Jace does something where he's like destroying the last of the Hextech, and Victor's like spirit gets down to him like Goku in Dragon Ball Z, going down to Gohan, being like, it's okay, Jace, you can destroy the Hextech. I support your decisions. Like, even if it's just some kind of like Casper the Friendly Ghost reminiscence, he has to be there. I refuse to believe that he's gone. And my brother is being so silent as the grave.
Victor's grave?
There were ships in that world that Jace were in. There were 2 ships. You can ship him and Mel and him and Viktor. I'm not opposed to either.
Well, one of them's alive.
No, listen. Jace is our scientist that's been infused with magic crystals, that has a messed up leg. He's got the magic crystal infused in him, so he's like Mel. He's got the messed up leg like Viktor. You could have him with the witch Mel, or you could have him with Arcane Jesus. You can win. Both these can win. If all 3 of them got together, it'd be perfect. But we'll just have to find out next week, won't we?
Yep.
So, yeah, that's our theories. This episode was great. It was definitely needed. We needed some catch-up, and I am not going to be ever opposed to episodes involving Ekko or Powder or Jace going through hell, apparently. So, anyway, I'm excited to hear your comments down below, but I hope you all have a wonderful week. Please stay safe, take care, and yeah, we'll be back very soon with more of Arcane. Bye!